So I just started my 5th year in business, and it's kind of crazy to think about. So I thought today I would share some of the things that I have learned over the course of the 5 years. There's been some big wins, there's been some not so great things, some launch failures, but overall, I've learned a lot in 5 years, and I wouldn't change any of it for where I am today in my business and how I'm moving forward. My name is Sammy Bedell Mulhern. I am the host of the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast, and I'm so glad that you are here listening today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule for these episodes. It really means so much to me. So stick around and hear some of my lessons from my 5 years in business. But before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by our Digital Marketing Therapy sessions. So if you've been thinking about what your next 5 years of your business are going to be, but you need some help maybe strategizing some ideas around it, these sessions are great. They're 30-minute sessions. You can book them at thefirstclick.net/office hours, and we can talk through whatever you want with your digital marketing strategy. We can talk about your website, your email marketing, your content creation, whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that is keeping you from hitting those fundraising goals, hitting that next step, getting that growth that you want. Let's get on the phone and have a conversation, okay? So again, that's at thefirstclick.net/office hours. But for now, let's get into the episode.
You're listening to the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Bedell Mulhern, and each week I bring you tips from myself and other experts, as well as hot seats with small business owners and entrepreneurs to demystify digital marketing and get you on your way to generating more leads and growing your business. So 5 years ago, I was working a corporate job, and it was great, and I was learning a lot, and I was doing a lot of really amazing, fun things. But it just became time for me to kind of jump out and do my own thing. And so I decided to start H&E Marketing Solutions, which is my consulting business. And it was incredible. And I spent so much at the beginning stages really just learning and soaking things in. So we thought at the time that we were going to build a web design and a digital marketing consultancy, or not really going the agency model, but a consultancy, working with anybody who would take us, right? And you might have been in this boat at the beginning. Here's the mission. Here's what we're trying to do. We will take any donor. Just give us any money we can get our hands on. We're going to go for all the grants. We're going to go for all of the things. And it feels like you're kind of spinning your wheels. So we were doing social media, we were doing website design and development, we were doing copyright, like we were doing anything and everything, the tech side of things, the SEO side of things. And I was learning as much as I possibly could because there was a lot that I knew from my previous experience, but there was also some pieces, like I knew SEO was important, but I didn't necessarily know all of the different things. So I was geeking out on that. I was geeking out on analytics. I was trying to take in all of the things that I possibly could at the very beginning. And so as we started reaching out to potential clients and potential customers, every project was different, and I was feeling a little bit kind of all over the place. So the first lesson that I would share from my 5 years in business is that the sooner that you can focus on what it is that you truly love, the better off your business will be as a whole. So if I would have really just focused on the things that I knew and come at it from a mindset of this will come to me, I would have had much less stress and frustration and been able to focus some of my trainings on the things in the core of what it was that I wanted to do. But it's taken me a few years to get there. Now, when it came to marketing my business, I did a lot of in-person networking, a lot of chatting with people in the community, and that was all great. And that has worked. And that has really built the referral network that my business is built off of now. So you know me as The First Click, which offers this podcast, which offers a lot of our digital resources and programs and courses. H&E Marketing Solutions is my consultancy, my one-on-one work with clients. And I am so blessed that business has come from a referral space. And that is because we did so much networking at the beginning. I met with a lot of business owners. We did things right. We worked with a lot of clients. Now, was all of that always positive? No, because what I learned was that there were certain industries, there were certain types of people, like certain communication styles, different types of clients. Like, it helped me really hone in on what were the types of projects that I really wanted to work on. And so that is kind of my next lesson for you, and that not all things are right for you. Doesn't mean that you're bad or they're bad. It just means that maybe what you're working towards or what they're working towards is not the same thing. You might not be the right fit. We all have different communication and personality styles, and not everything is the right fit. And so what I really learned early on in the beginning was, I don't need to take every project. I need to have different resources and ways to help them be successful, but we are not always the right fit for people. It doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel good to them. And we want everybody who comes to us to feel like they have had a good experience and that they have gotten what they need in the growth of their organization. And I think that you want the same, whether it's somebody that's coming into your organization as a volunteer, as a potential board member, as a donor, as a staff member, right? Not everybody is going to be the right fit, even if they feel like they love the mission, they love what you're doing, and they're really passionate about it. And so we have to really kind of take a step back and remove that emotional piece. And that's not always easy for me, for sure. And I'm sure it's not for you. But we have to really say, okay, how is this going to play out? And is everybody going to feel fulfilled? And I think especially from like the board member and the donor space, it can feel a little nerve-wracking at times, because you might have a board member that's coming to you with all the great connections, and they on paper know all the right people, and they have the right skill set, and they can bring a lot of value. But let's be real, maybe they're kind of a pain in the ass. And the amount of work and effort that you would need to put into that board member to support your organization might not be worth it. But we tend to say to ourselves, well, I can't say no to this person because A, B, C, D, and E, right? And switching that mentality and being like, well, let's go after the people that we know check more of those boxes is going to get you a lot further in the long run in your organization. It's tricky, it's hard, I know, but I challenge you to try and do that as you move forward in the growth of different areas of your business. The same is true for your team members and your staff. We can all be passionate about what we do, but that doesn't mean that at the end of the day, they can deliver on those activities. The next lesson that I learned is that I deserve to do what I want. This is my business and I can build it how I want. So we've gone through several iterations of different things, and ultimately we've landed on serving nonprofits. That's a passion of mine. That's a passion of my brother's, who's my business partner. And it's just really lit us up, and it's really helped us make a bigger impact. And it's introduced us to a lot of amazing people that we're working on a lot of amazing collaborations with and partnerships with. And so really continuing to follow that dream and push through and keeping on, you will find the right people to help push your agenda and your commitment and your mission forward. Now, the other thing that I've learned is to always be learning. So in the beginning, I was soaking up all the courses, all the trainings. I was learning how to do all of the things, which will get me to the next lesson that I learned here in a second. But at the beginning, you have this like quest for knowledge, right? You're trying to learn the things that you don't know. You're trying to build on the skills that you don't have because you don't have the funds to be able to hire those people to help you do it. And so that's what I did at the beginning, and I loved it. I love learning. And then as we got busy with clients and as we got busy moving on to different things in our business, sometimes some of that started to lack. And what I've really realized is the more that I keep learning, the more that my energy builds inside my business, the more excited I get about things, the more that it makes me think about the things that I'm doing and continue to tweak and refine. So not always changing, but thinking about things like, what's my customer experience like? How am I working one-on-one with my clients? How am I providing that level of care? How am I making sure that everybody feels good when they leave? How am I streamlining our website build process, right? And those are all things that you can do as well. So it's not to change everything, but it's to build on that foundation that you've created, and how can you continue to make that a better experience? How can you improve on the email copy that you have? How can you make your donors feel more loved on than any other organization that you compete with, right? So the flip side to that is that when I learned and grew and took in all this information, I kind of was like doing this thing. I was like not flip flopping, but I was wanting to really push out all of the things all the time. I wanted to start a course. I wanted a membership. I wanted, because I see all these things and I can see it in my brain, and I understand how it can be a really impactful thing. But it just was too much, too fast, too soon. I hadn't built my audience. I hadn't built the trust with you all to purchase this stuff. Like, it just wasn't the right time. And so while it is so hard for me, at least, to wrap my head around this was a big lesson that I learned, and something that I've really worked on now. Slow down and do one thing at a time. It is terrifying because you're like, well, I have all these ideas. Like, I can bring in all this money from this. Like, we can do this event and this event and this event. And then we could also do this individual giving campaign. We can also do this direct mail piece. And then we can also do all of these grants. Like, I'm sure you're like, yes, I've been there, because we've all been there. When you sit and focus, and when I have now sat and focused, like, this is the core offering that we have. The core that we do now is website design and development, and then helping you with your content creation for blogs or podcasts or YouTube or whatever, and your email marketing campaign to engage and retain donors. That's what we do. We don't do social media. We don't do SEO. We don't do a lot of those other things. We don't do paid advertising, right? We don't do the Google ad grant. Even though I feel like they're all very important, that's not what we've chosen to specialize in. And instead, we've chosen to network with people that we can provide, reach out to provide those services for our clients. That was a big deal for us, because for a long time, people would come into our circle and they would kind of be ping-ponged all over the place. And we would kind of piecemeal all of these things, and we would do all of these things kind of, more than halfway. Now we have the ability to really be excellent at what it is that we do. And so that's what I want to challenge you on, because when you are really excellent at what you do, you're going to do it well. So if you're saying, okay, well, we're going to focus on a monthly donor campaign, that's what we're going to focus on for this year. We're going to build that campaign, and this is how it builds into our bigger strategy. Or we're right now in this phase where we're going to do a ton of grant writing, and that's what we're going to focus our time and energy on. Especially if you're in that phase where you're trying to grow from like really volunteer based to staffing, you want to make sure that you're not burning out your people. And how can you support them in being most successful for what's going to give you long-term sustainability for your organization? And that is, as counterintuitive as it feels, doing one thing at a time. So we've really focused on that, and that's made a huge impact on how we're able to get things done, how we're able to grow, and how we're able to provide stellar service to our clients and to you, and create content that really helps you move your organization forward. So that's really kind of the big lessons that I've learned, to always be learning, to slow down and do one thing at a time, to be true to myself and do what I love to do, because when I do that, it comes through so amazingly to my clients, and the customers and clients that come to me are so incredible and amazing as well. I've also learned to just sit and breathe in what I'm doing, because I have trust and faith in the work that I'm doing and the way that I'm supporting nonprofits, that I know that it's going to come to me. I'm going to manifest and bring it in. And I know it's all kind of woo-woo, but that's what we're working on. And honestly, I didn't even realize that my 5-year anniversary was coming up. Facebook told me so, as it does so often in our memories. But I am so blessed and thankful for all of the things that we have accomplished and the people that we have served over the last 5 years. You are probably one of them at some point in time that has participated in either one of our one-on-one programs or our group coaching programs. But I so appreciate you. And thank you for being on this journey. We are so thrilled and excited for all of the things that are coming up. 2022 is going to be an incredible year for us, as I know it will be for you. So I would love it if you would shoot me an email at sammy@thefirstclick.net and send me just a fun win. What's something that has happened to you this year that you are just wanting to shout from the rooftops? I would love to celebrate that with you. And if you've been around for 5+ more years, let me know that too, because I think that's incredible. It's a big feat that you should be so proud of, because most organizations that start out don't make it that long. So you deserve to be celebrated as well. But for now, I hope that you subscribe wherever you listen and check out the video versions of these episodes at thefirstclick.net/YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.